So have you heard, because I know that your character from Parks and Rec, what you were talking about earlier, has inspired a lot of people, that a library was nominated for a Leslie Knope Award. Have you heard about this? Like, it's one of those things that's kind of funny, because it's like funny, like from the show, but it's also really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone watches the show, they'll know that we hate libraries. And Leslie Knope
That's
would
what I'm saying.
never,
It's funny, but like it's inspiring.
And
though.
I'm glad the library thinks they're so great.
But you're not.
We had a really funny thing in the show where the Parks and Rec department just like, the library was always our problem, which really made us laugh. My parents were public school teachers.
Yeah,
library is a big deal growing up. We have to support our library. So it's how fantastic, so cool.
Yeah. Sam, we actually, would you like to say hi? We've been talking to Ohio, and they actually have one of the, this is Leanne, the librarian, who was actually nominated, and she's a big fan. Hi. What? Oh, right here. We'll go here.
She's a librarian at the Bexley Public Library, right?
Yes, that's correct, yes. We were nominated for a Knope Award, which of course is so exciting. One of our patrons nominated us, and librarians, we make up probably the entire fandom of Parks and Rec, so it's pretty awesome. Yeah, we were really excited.
Now, Leanne, is your mom disappointed that you turned out to be a librarian?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I have a background in art history, so being a librarian was the better option, I guess.
That's amazing. Well, Leanne, do you want to say anything to Amy? I know you're a fan.
Oh, yeah, we have a big bone to pick with Leslie Knope about her opinion about libraries. But no, for real, this is crazy because I actually have a picture of Leslie Knope on my desk at work, so it's really crazy to see you in person. And thank you so much for all of the support for libraries and for local governments and educators.
Thank you so much, Leanne.
Wait, so you made Amy Poehler, is it correct that like it was a paddle out of doors? And it was doors from the Parks and Rec set, right?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
When the show finished, the entire bullpen of that great set for Parks and Rec, all the trim was red oak that actually had come from Indiana to California.
I know, but they let you have it?
Well, no, here's the thing. So
Oh.
And this is a real beef I have with the corporate side of our business, is that because of liability, you're not supposed to take anything out of the dumpster, like wood, like a
Which is wasteful.
It's super wasteful. So I mentioned when they struck the set for Parks and Rec, I said to the guy driving the truck to the landfill, if you happen to hit a speed bump near my shop and some of this red oak falls onto the sidewalk, I would love to turn it into canoe paddles to give to the cast and the producers.
Which is so cool.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm grateful that driver was somewhat reckless.
Yeah. In the book, you revealed that you and your wife both have a connection to Rob Lowe, and I know that connection, but everyone else doesn't. So explain.
Well, you know, when you get together with another actor, and this is true, and this is my whole life, when you start dating someone, one of the things you do, you have an awareness of like, oh, by the way, I was in a play with this person, or you figure out who you've both kissed, or like, you know, you sort of get.
This is a conversation?
Yeah, it's a thing, so that you know, I mean, it's true of any new relationship where it's.
Not me. I don't want to know any past.
But but eventually you learn about each other's significant others.
Okay.
And in this case, because he's a marquee name, it came up at some point that Megan, in the movie About Last Night, had this crazy throat-kissing scene with Rob Lowe, where she plays this floozy, like trying to distract him from Demi Moore.
Yeah.
And they have this crazy French kissing scene, and at some point I randomly saw it. We were at a hotel, and it happened to be on TV, and it was so traumatic, where I was like, and,
what are you doing?
I mean, it was 15 years later, but I said, honey, you clearly are in love with Rob Lowe. This is going to be a situation between us. And so it always kind of stuck with me, but then until some years later on Parks and Recreation, in an episode where I think Rob Lowe's character finds out that it's Ron Swanson's birthday, and he ends up kissing me on the mouth in this episode.
Both been there.
At which point I was like, okay, honey, I get it. Everything's cool.
even.
Everything's fine. And now, if you step back a little ways and squint, you could say that we've had a threesome. That's how it is in Hollywood.
That's what your book should have been called. Our Threesome with Rob Lowe. That's amazing. I love that. I don't know if I'd want to know all of that.
No, I mean...
I think not that it bothers me, I just mean like, you can't help your past, so why talk about it?
It is weird, and especially if your wife is a gorgeous, star, they keep coming out where you'll be watching a show and she'll be like, oh, actually, I was engaged to this guy, and you're like,
oh my God. And you're like, that's fine.
That's fine, honey.
That's amazing.
So wait, in Parks and Rec, you got to meet Joe Biden, right? Because I got to meet him. He was so nice.
The coolest.
So what was your experience like?
It was great. He came on. He had a role on the show. Like he was obviously playing himself, but he was so good and such a pro. Like really good on camera, knew his lines. And then we did another episode where he and Dr. Biden were both on, or the First Lady were both on. And they were the best.
They're
so
very sweet.
Nice. Yeah.
Like behind the scenes, that's what I thought was the coolest. Like she was asking me about like just life, like kids, like normal stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, you're like being normal. Okay, cool. Yeah, not that you're not normal.
Yeah,
but,
and he's like, Adam, how are you? And like, we'll like shake your hand, and you're like, oh, okay. There's like this magic thing here where you're making me feel like I'm the most important person in the world.
I know. And then you like start divulging stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, you're like,
Can I tell you about something that happened to me when I was
my
little?
childhood. Yes.
He's like, no, I'm not actually interested.
My mom let me go see the Grateful Dead, and
That's right. That's right.
Tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Do you celebrate Valentine's Day, or are you kind of like?
Well, let's not forget about Galentine's Day.
Let's not.
So
Let's
Galentine's Day, for those of you that don't know, is the writers of Parks and Rec created this kind of fake holiday where Leslie Knope, the character I played on the show, would go out with her gals, her friends, and celebrate. So I celebrate Galentine's Day all the time. And in fact, I'm spending Galentine's Day with Rashida Jones and Aubrey Plaza and Catherine Hahn. We're having dinner tonight.
Oh, that's awesome! Wow.
So,
I celebrated Galentine's Day until I was like 30. I mean, for real. So I'm very aware.
And if you're gay, then every Valentine's Day is Galentine's Day.
Exactly.
Lucky.
Women are a good time.
For sure.
Gay or not. It's a fun time.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to make up your own holidays.
Yes.
Right?
And we should, and I just think you need to start making cards. Then you can profit off of this great idea.
God, you're so right.
Just
There's a lot of money I'm leaving on the table.
You are. You're just giving it away. But did you ever have to do, I remember in school, we had to do like the Valentine's Day things. Either you did carnations
We
or...
did carnations
We did
where you
carnations
had to write who you wanted to give a carnation to, and then like a kid would show up at your classroom with a box of carnations and kind of call out everyone's name.
Yeah.
Which is just so horrible, right?
Which is because I never got one. Were you that kid? Like, no, it wasn't at all. There were so many of us. There'd literally be like 5 people that got them. And it would be like, well, I guess it wasn't my turn. Like, it was like,
And all those people,
it's a villain's character.
Yeah, all those people that got them kind of peaked too early, and it's been a tough go for them ever since.
You peaked in high school.
I don't want to peak in high school.
But it also is, and it's not an all thing too, because then you'd find out like it was actually just like a girlfriend that sent it to her girlfriend so she didn't feel lame.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't count, cheater.
Yeah. I feel like nowadays people, like schools don't really pressure you as much as they did. When I was growing up in the 80s, it was a lot of like, who are you going to marry? Who's your boyfriend? And you were like, I'm in 3rd grade.
Yeah. That's in the South. They do that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like every time at a holiday. It's like
every
who's your
Friday.
boyfriend? I'm like, why can't I just be me? Like, I didn't bring anyone because I'm in 2nd grade. But yeah, they push you in the South for some reason.
They do it in Boston too.
Speaking of your show, I love Boston. I really
You do?
That's not even a part of our conversation, but it's one of my favorite places to tour because y'all are like Texans with sports. It is like, y'all are so hardcore.
Yeah.
It is awesome. I was there when y'all broke the 80 whatever year streak or whatever. I was at that game. I got to sing, and I was like, literally, y'all are crazy.
Wait, I remember this because I was watching that game.
Steven Tyler was there too. It was like one of the World Series, but it was in that thing that y'all ended up breaking the streak. And y'all, you would have thought we landed on Mars.
Yeah.
Like, where we made it. Like,
we are hardcore about our sports.
So sports.